Hi, shalom friends. Making decisions and choosing between good and bad or dark and light is not that difficult because the contrasts are so stark and so almost stare you in the face. It's the choices between good and good or between good and better which we often agonize because we're not sure which is better. And in many ways it takes a lot more effort to be satisfied that the decision you made was the correct one, because who knows, maybe the other one was better. Anyway, let me share with you a story about a man who had 4 children and was considered ordinary in all respects, in the sense that he didn't suffer more than the average person, if there is a way of measuring, but nor was he outstanding. So he had the usual stresses. He had a profession. It was a struggle. He had family issues. There were health issues. Everything was okay, but nothing was ever smooth. This man had strong belief in God, so he would often resort to prayer. And many times his prayer was quite specific. Please, God, send me something that will change my life for the better. It will make me more calm. It will allow me to deal with the stresses of life, with the difficulties of life. Please, Hashem, give me that gift. And one day, the story continues. He hears the doorbell. He opens up the door, and a very strange sight is in front of him. There's a group of 4 gentlemen, and the one in the front is the spokesman. Now this man, let me just describe a bit. He's wearing an Italian suit that had to be at least $2,000. He had a Rolex. He had gold cufflinks. He was wearing expensive shoes. He was carrying a leather briefcase. Anyway, he was like a walking advertisement that I am wealthy. And the man looks at this person and says, are you Mr. Jacob? Yes, I am. Well, I came from heaven. God has heard your voice, and my name is Wealth. And if you invite me into your home, I will be yours. And he's looking at this man who every inch of him says wealth, and he's thinking, of course, what's the hesitation? And he's about to invite him in, and Wealth says, but one second, before you invite me in, let me introduce you to my friend. The fellow comes behind him, and this man was an Adonis. I mean, every part of him was muscled. He looked like the type of a person that could lift a house. And he says, hi, my name is Strength. And God has heard your prayer. And if you wish, you can invite me into your home, and I will be yours. And he's overwhelmed. And then there's a third person. And that third person is a person that filled with vigor. I mean, this person is in excellent health. The color of the skin, the bounce, the way he walks. I mean, you just get the sense that this person must be one of the world's best health trainers. And says, hi, my name is Health. And if you invite me in, I'll be yours. And he's about to say yes when, let me introduce you to my friend. And then another person comes, and this person has a twinkle in his eye, a little smile on his face, and just looking at him makes you feel good. This man is, by all means, a happy person. And somehow he radiates happiness, and that's exactly what he says. Hi, my name is Happiness and Joy, and you can invite me in. Well, I neglected to tell you, behind him there was someone. This person was not really that exciting to look at. He was a middle-aged fellow. He had very intelligent eyes, looked very calm, and he spoke with a certain strength, though not loud. He said, hi, my name is Faith. If you need faith, please invite me in and I will be yours. And he says, all of you, come in. You're the people that I've been praying for. And the first gentleman of wealth says, there's a catch. You could only pick one of us. And he couldn't figure out, oh my gosh, only one? Wealth without joy, joy without health, health without faith. Like, I don't know. And he says, you only have 2 minutes to choose. And being that he was a believer, you know who he chose? He chose the one that was most unassuming. He said, I'll take faith. And they say, okay. And the last one, faith, walks into the door. And the man is hoping that he made the right choice. And as he's about to close the door, there's a foot stuck in the door. He turns around. Wealth says, I'd like to enter. And behind him is health. I'd like to enter. And behind him is joy. I'd like to enter. He said, 1 second, didn't you tell me only one? He said, that's true. But if you have faith, we follow automatically. It's a wonderful story to meditate on. And it's especially poignant because we just celebrated Passover, which is the festival of faith. Now, if you're listening to this story, you might ask, 1 second, you started off by saying he was a believer, and now he's inviting in faith? So let me tell you, my friends, it's a very broad subject, but I'm going to make it really simple for you. The difference between belief and the faith that I'm talking about, which a synonym would be trust. Let's say, for example, you're an optimistic guy, and you're just starting off a business, and someone says, what are you aiming for? He says, I believe one day I will be on the Forbes 500 list. Now, he's selling shoes in a small town, but he believes he'll make it big one day. Contrast that to someone that has a trust fund of $100 million to be paid to him when he's 25. He says, I believe I will one day be that. Could you see the difference of belief? Neither one has that $100 million right now. One believes he'll one day get it. One day he trusts. He has a trust fund. It is there. It's just not accessible. You see, many of us believe, but our belief is of a nebulous form somewhere in the future. But when you have true faith, you have trust. So you could celebrate the future and the vision now because your faith is strong. Let's look at Passover for a moment, okay? They're in Egypt. Moses comes, Moshe Rabbeinu, he comes to the people that have been suffering for many, many decades. Whether it be 86 years or 210 years, but many decades, generations. And he comes and he says, I represent God. God has heard your prayers. Your forefathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, you're their children. He has heard. He's going to redeem you. And they believed. And then they went back to work. They believed and they went back to work. Yeah. Because they did believe and they were still slaves. And even after the first plague begins with blood and frogs and lice and on and on and on, they're still in Egypt and they're still believers. When do they trust God? They trust God when they leave Egypt and no one takes along food. How are we going to eat? Don't worry. God will provide. You see, when they're walking out, that is belief in action, not belief in the mind or even in the heart. That is actual belief. That's trusting Hashem. And this is really the festival of Pesach, really important for us to remember. We start off with, we all believe in God, but the process of the 7 days of the holiday is, now we can walk through water. We can walk on water. Well, how do you walk on water? You can't walk on water. You walk, and God will help. That's faith/trust. And that's what I'd like to conclude. For generations and eons, it seems like, we believe in Mashiach. We believe that there will be a better tomorrow. We do believe that. One day the world will be at peace. One day there won't be suffering. One day people will be truly human. In the meantime, it's a rat race. In the meantime, we have to worry. We have to put away retirement savings. We have to have, God forbid, maybe there'll be a nuclear something. Maybe we need a bomb shelter. What happened to your belief of Mashiach? It's time that we start trusting. Mashiach is coming. We're in the last moments of exile. And if we trust that Mashiach is about to appear, then we're not anxious. And we should not be worried. We should not feel apprehensive about the future. But read the news. Don't read the news. Don't look around. Concentrate on what you want to see. Don't believe in Mashiach. Trust him. He's coming. Shalom.